Well, YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone. And about 5 years ago, I was shopping for some ammo for a gun I did not even own yet. And I kind of knew I was going to get one at some point, so I went ahead and bought the ammo first. From Cheaper Than Dirt, I bought some of this Bitterroot Valley ammo, 10 boxes of it, and the cost was $18.59 a box. Not bad. And then along the way, I bought 6 bags of these Lodex for about $15 a bag, 50 rounds in each bag. 6 bags of those. And I even bought an extra magazine. Thinking was that I was going to use this ammo for the brass, and then with this load book, I have all the data I need to load for this cartridge. Now, what I didn't know was that it would take me 5 years to finally get that gun. Now, the case gives it away already. Of course, it's a Glock. But currently, Glock is putting these stickers on the outside of the cases, warning against having children have access to firearms. Well, the sticker defaces the case, unfortunately. But go ahead and open this up, and you can see what model this is. This is a Glock 20. And those of you who know the Glock models, that is a full-size Glock in 10mm caliber. Now, the gun store happened to have a used Glock 20 Gen 2, and it wasn't in good condition and only had one magazine, so I passed on that one. I got this new Gen 3 instead. Now, another reason that I got the new one instead of the old one was that this happens to be the SF frame, or the short frame. Even though my hands are on the large side, the short frame actually felt better to me because the corners here are not as angular and has more comfort. And the shorter frame doesn't have a problem with the trigger reach when the trigger's in its forward position. It's still very workable. When the Glock trigger is back, it's not going to fire. And it doesn't have adjustable sights, but we'll see if this is on target or not. If it is, fine. If it isn't, we'll have to figure out some way to adjust those sights by getting a Glock tool or something of that nature. But it comes with 2 magazines. Now the Glock trigger is forward, and we know right away that that is in firing mode. We better make sure that it's not loaded. Trigger is the heavier 6-pound trigger, or whatever it is, 6.5-pound trigger, but we'll be able to shoot that okay. And if we don't like it, I can change it out later on to the lighter trigger. It has a more extended magazine release already, and we like that. A closer look at that Bitterroot Valley ammo. It's loaded with brand new Starline brass and 180 grain full metal jacket bullets, and the velocity is around 1250 to 1300 feet per second. And a little bit of history on the 10mm cartridge. It was developed by Colonel Jeff Cooper back in 1983, and the reason why he developed it was to get more power into auto pistol, and it gives major power very easily. Jeff Cooper was the one that was one of the starters of IPSC shooting, and major power and power, speed, and accuracy, all those were Jeff Cooper trademarks. Now, the first pistols that chambered the 10mm cartridge was the Bren 10, which is a takeoff on the CZ75 design, and back in 1983 and toward 86, the Bren 10 was featured on Miami Vice. There was a notorious shootout in Miami back in 1986 where the FBI was totally undergunned against some felons. And the FBI actually moved toward the 10mm cartridge in 1989, but they found out that it was too hard to train their agents with the 10 millimeter. So that led to the development of the 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, which is around very popular today in law enforcement. The Bren 10, or rather the 10 millimeter, has fallen out of favor more or less, still popular with sports shooters and in certain law enforcement agencies. Now, to give you an idea of the pressures that these cartridges generate, the 10 millimeter operates at around 37,000 psi compared to the 40 caliber Smith & Wesson at 35,000 psi and the 45 ACP at 20,000 psi. Now, I'll give you a corresponding idea. The 44 Magnum operates at 39,000 psi, and the 357 Magnum today operates around 42,000 psi. Well, the original 357 Magnum actually was operating at 45,000 psi, real powerful high pressure loadings back in 1935. LC. So you might ask, well, Fortune Cookie 45 LC, why are you interested in a 10 millimeter Glock? Because after all, aren't you concerned about the 40 cal having a lot of kaboom incidences? And why would you want an even more powerful 10 millimeter round that could have even more problems with pressure? Well, turns out that the 10 millimeter case is stronger than the 40 caliber case, so it can stand higher pressure more safely. Plus, the Glock chamber in 10 millimeter has better support in the chamber than some of the other Glock models, especially the 40 cal. So this gives us a safety margin enough to shoot a Magnum round in a Glock pistol. Plus, my intention is to soon get a Lone Wolf aftermarket barrel that will have a fully supported chamber and also a regular size chamber, not oversized. So this will let me shoot all the reloads and lead bullets in my Glock 20. Well, when the Glock 10 millimeter first came out in 1991, the thinking was, how is the pistol going to shoot? Is it going to be manageable? Because you got a light pistol, and all the guns before in 10 millimeter were all steel, heavy and big. Well, this is not heavy, not big, and so the thinking was that it would be hard to control this pistol. Turns out that the plastic frame actually flexes on firing and actually absorbs a lot of recoil pulse so that it becomes very manageable. And because the polymer is a nylon-based plastic and is very strong, it can stand 10 millimeter and repeated 10 millimeter use. Amazing design and materials. Now, one of the truly amazing and appreciated features of the Glock pistols is the finish on the slide on the metal. What it is a tenifer process, which is actually a nitrocarburizing process, whereby the surface becomes Rockwell 64, or is it 68? Somewhere around there, 64 Rockwell. Very hard, durable finish. And it's almost totally impervious to salt water and corrosion from chemicals. Even more so than stainless steel. Now, that's an amazing type of finish on the Glock pistol. So YouTubers, that completes the desktop review of the Glock 20. We'll look forward to taking it to the range and shooting this ammo up.